Well, they're really jumping ahead with the future, aren't they? So the Justice League film is coming out in a matter of days, and already the main cast themselves are really thinking ahead when it comes down to the sequel for the film, which as we all know is already in development. And in some of the recent interviews, the main cast themselves have been teasing some potential characters who could make it into the Justice League sequel, which features some of the potential teammates that could be joining down the line, as well as some possible villains who could be facing off against the Justice League. And bear this in mind, none of this is directly confirmed by any stretch, but rather what the main actors themselves would personally want to see for the sequel. Now, starting off with the future members, Ben Affleck himself would personally want to see Black Canary make it into the Justice League sequel, because he personally wants to see more females join the team, which is going to be an ongoing theme when it comes down to the potential characters for the sequel. And personally, I would think that would be pretty interesting to see Black Canary make it into the DCEU. And although CW do have their very own Black Canary still ongoing in Arrow, as far as I've heard, the embargoes don't really exist anymore. Next, Henry Cavill went on record in saying that he would like to see Supergirl join the team, because he thinks that it would be nice to have a good Kryptonian by his side, as well as the fact that they're both related. And again, I think it would be cool to see Supergirl in the Justice League eventually. However, I feel like Justice League 2 is a bit too soon for Supergirl. I feel like it would be more fitting to have Supergirl be introduced in the Man of Steel sequel, and then have Supergirl join forces with the Justice League in part 3, where they could potentially face off against Darkseid. Now, the next character is very interesting, as Ray Fisher himself ran on record into saying that he would like to see Zatanna join the Justice League, as he feels like Zatanna could bring a whole lot to the table, as she is a magic based character. And out of all of the characters that have been mentioned, Zatanna's the one that I'm most intrigued by, because you could set her up as a major player for the sequel and then spin off Zatanna and make her to become the lead for the Justice League Dark film. And again, there's quite a lot you can do with this character. Now, the last one is really interesting, as Jason Momoa himself really wants to see Aquaman's wife Mira join the Justice League, which is very interesting because Mira is actually going to be in the Justice League film to some degree, and she's going to be a major player in the upcoming Aquaman film. But again, this one to me is very interesting because as far as I'm aware, Mira has never been a member of the Justice League. But even with that being said, Mira is a pretty badass character, so I would love to see her join the Justice League at some point. Now, as far as villains goes, this is very interesting, as both Ezra Miller and Gal Gadot want the Justice League to face off against the Injustice League, as they really enjoyed the concept of all of the Justice League members going off against their own nemesis. And Gal Gadot herself personally wants to see the Cheetah make it in there, as she thinks that it would be awesome to have Wonder Woman go up against another female opponent. And seeing as how Cheetah is most likely going to be the main villain for the Wonder Woman sequel, which will take place before the Justice League sequel, this to me could totally work. And as for the concept of the Justice League facing off against the Injustice League for the sequel, I feel like that this is the best way to go when it comes down to a Justice League sequel, because they have a ton of solo movies in development right before Justice League 2, so it would make perfect sense into bringing some of the old villains back to the forefront. And this is incredibly exciting because not even the MCU has done that yet. And this is leagues better than bringing Darkseid to the sequel, because he is the biggest villain that DC has. And if they decide to just toss in Darkseid for the sequel, then really there's not much angle you can go beyond that. And sure, one could argue that they could introduce the Anti-Monitor after Darkseid, but given how Darkseid is meant to be a huge part of the DC Extended Universe, if you're just gonna toss in Darkseid for the sequel and then set up Anti-Monitor for part 3, then that would just feel cheap to me. But at the end of the day, none of this is really confirmed, but rather how the actors personally feel about who should join the Justice League for the sequel, as well as the potential villains. But you never know, maybe DC does have plans for these certain characters and villains. But regardless, it's always fun to speculate and wish upon what could happen for the sequel. So who do you want to see join the Justice League for the potential sequel? And also, which villain or villains would you like to see face off against the Justice League? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.